They say the first auto race took place just as soon as the second car was invented. Since then, racers the world over have been on an endless quest for extra speed and performance. Technology drives that quest, and all the latest and greatest technology is here at the PRI show in Indianapolis. You have to be in the industry to get in, or you have to know someone. Well, you know us. So come on in for a VIP look at the PRI show in Indy.
Motorhead Garage, the program that each week introduces you to and shows you how to install the latest in exciting and innovative products for your vehicle. Now here's your host, Dave Dobson.
For nearly 100 years, Lincoln Electric has been innovating and evolving with the welding industry, and the welding industry continues to evolve and change. Not all those changes are for the better, Josh. Now, what are some of the things that are facing the industry right now?
One of the huge problems is a skilled welder shortage. We have a lot of people that are retiring. There's not a lot of people going into the industry now. So a lot of companies are having a hard time finding someone to fill those roles. So they want something that can make that easier for them. They know that they're going to get something that's going to be there to weld every day. They're not depending on somebody who may not come in, may switch jobs very quickly, easily. So the Cooper Cobot will solve that as a turnkey solution.
So how does the Cooper Cobot work? It's called a cobot for a reason.
It's a collaborative robot. So the main difference between this and a regular robot is a regular robot will move at a much higher speed. It's not safe to be next to, so you have to have a lot of safety fencing and light curtains around it. That causes the price to go up. It takes up a bigger footprint on your floor, where this is a collaborative robot, so a collaborative robot moves at a much slower speed. And if it hits you or something else, it will stop. So it's safe to be next to, therefore I don't need all that extra stuff. It brings the price down. It's mobile, it's on wheels. I can move it to and from around my shop. It's easier to program. So now I don't need to have someone who's trained for 2 or 3 weeks at a time and then they leave the company. I can train someone on the Cooper app in a matter of a couple hours as opposed to a couple weeks with a normal traditional teach pen.
Who are the folks that are using the Cooper Cobot?
Everything from small job shops to major corporations, everything in between.
People have been lining up like crazy to see the Cooper Cobot here at Lincoln Electric's booth at PRI. You should go to lincolnelectric.com and see what they can do for you in your shop. Hey, let's send it over to the legendary Ted Jones.
Folks, this is called patina. It's kind of the new fad. You take a truck or a car, you make it look just as beat up, rusted out, and ugly as you possibly can. This guy even has a cracked window right here. You don't want to change that. That's all part of the patina. Looks like it's rusted out and it's ready to fall down. Then to make it really cool, you go up front to the engine compartment, you put a big 427 Texas Speed in it with a big 871 blower overdriven with a pair of Holley double pumpers up there, and you end up putting out about 900 horsepower. Who would create such a thing?
Yes, you are reading this right. It's been 184 years since Schaeffer's oil's been on the scene. And you know, in the past, to my mind anyway, oil's always been oil, but all the machinery the oil goes into is evolving. So naturally, the oil is evolving. How is Schaeffer's keeping up with all this new technology?
It is, and of course in 1839 things were quite a bit different. But today, the highly refined oils that we use and the additive packages, that's the real difference. Like, you know, everybody's going for the ultimate in fuel economy, and therefore they want a lighter oil. And lighter oils, in most cases, need a better additive package and a superior base oil. And we've always had that superior base oil mind, and our superior polyalpha olefin synthetic is excellent.
The mechanics and the racers I talk to love Schaeffer's oil. How can you take something that's that good and make it even better? What have you done?
We've added to the line. So in other words, if you have a 20W50, for instance, race engine oil is our main line oil. But if you have a crate motor, they only let you run 1030. So we basically took that additive package and put it into our best 1030. And now we have a great response from the guys on the racing teams that run the crate engines.
And what are you unveiling here at the PRI show?
Oh, today, actually we unveiled this just today, and here it is right here. It's our 70 weight oil for those people that needed that high viscosity protection. Some of the big pullers and racers, we had a 50 weight in the same oil, and it just wasn't enough viscous to keep those screaming things apart, you know. So this is our newest oil.
You can see for yourself what makes Schaeffer so popular. After almost 200 years, this company is still around and still innovating. SchaefferOil.com. Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonfireTools.com, returns from PRI next.
Motorhead Garage's coverage of the 2023 PRI show, presented by DragonfireTools.com, is brought to you by Next Gen, the most powerful detailing products ever made. And by Raptor Blasting Systems, heavy-duty industrial sandblasting cabinets that work as hard as you do.
We love being out on the road at Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonfireTools.com, but we also love our studio, so we brought it with us to the PRI show. You know, the PRI show is not the only big show in December. There's also the Dirt Expo, and Andy, you run that whole thing, the Dirt Expo. Where does it rank in the world of off-road shows?
So right now, we are becoming probably the #1 show in off-road, as an off-road show. We have a premier location in Scottsdale, Arizona. It's beautiful. I mean, we have hundreds of great exhibitors that come out. It's the best, man. It's beautiful, and our clientele is world class. And
what is your clientele? Who's out at the Dirt Expo?
Everybody from racers. I mean, we get Geyser Brothers out there with trophy trucks. We get all the top UTV guys. We get all the big trailer companies come out. We get all the companies that do suspension work, motor work, everything basically. Anything to do with off-road, we're there. A lot of race organizations come out too to promote their brands and their market.
I know off-roading is a lifestyle and it's an experience. So what do you want the experience to be like when folks come to the Dirt Expo?
So the most important thing about Dirt Expo, in my personal, is a family. Guys that go to Glamis and stuff, they're taking their entire family.
A lot of these folks love to play in the desert, but they want to be comfortable when they go to something like this. So what's the facility like?
So our facility is absolutely world class. It's one giant, massive building, no pillars in the middle, totally unobstructed for vendors. Great location for everyone to get to, down right in Scottsdale Airport right there. Great hotels, great restaurants, everything is there. It's a great location to bring the entire family. It's a fun, safe place.
What do you have in store for December 2024?
So I'm announcing that this is now a national off-road show. So this is the United States' national off-road show. So the Dirt Expo is looking to start going all over. We're going to take over the entire tent, the parking lot, and the main hall there. And we're even looking at the dirt area in the back, maybe to put on a moto race or something.
If you're an off-road junkie, the Dirt Expo is for you. You can go to thedirtexpo.com to find out more. For 34 years, Rodin Supply has been the place to go when you need a rod end. And for every minute of those 34 years, they've been innovating. And Bob Douglas, you're behind everything here at Rodin Supply. Your construction is really what sets you apart from the competitors out there.
Yes, ours is a little different take on a rod end. A lot of rod ends have a body, a race, and a ball. Basically a three-piece construction. Ours starts with a billet body, whether it's chromoly steel or aluminum. We make the body in one piece, then we load the ball into the body, then we injection mold our nylon fiber material, which is a registered part for us. That is a combination of 612 nylon infused with fiberglass as Teflon. And so it makes it a lot better part than a lot of them that are out there.
Why does the nylon fiber make things better?
Well, one, you don't lubricate them, you don't have to clean them, they're self-cleaning. They don't beat out like a Teflon liner does. We do have some people that want to buy Teflon lined rod ends, and we have those as well, but these, in a lot of applications, work tremendously better than a Teflon lined part.
I said Rodin Supply has always been innovating. That hasn't stopped. And what'd you bring to PRI that's brand new?
All right, this is a little bit different take on some of the standard rod end. So what we've been introducing at the show, the new aluminum body that we have now also has an aluminum ball. So the weight difference is 30%. So our new aluminum rod end is 30% lighter than the other aluminum rod ends on the market.
Durability, of course, is one of the most important things in motorsports. Saving weight is awfully important too. You can get these rod ends and a whole list of things. And oh, by the way, fuel injection systems now at rodinsupply.com. To find our paintedautoparts.com Motorhead of the Week, I had to come to the PRI show in Indianapolis. Guess who? Three-time NHRA Top Fuel champion Larry Dixon. You were Larry Dixon Jr. Yeah. This belonged to Larry Dixon Sr., your father.
Yeah.
And what year is this from? What era is this from?
This car's, we're guessing like year on the chassis is around in 1962. My dad bought it used from a friend of his in 1964, and he campaigned it in the class was actually competition eliminator, and the category within comp was modified roadster. But it extremely modified. But the only thing that made it a roadster was the fact that it had fenders on it. But it's literally a top fuel engine, and they would run in either one of the shows, whether competition or top fuel. But he ran it from 1964 to about 68. It's a mild steel chassis, so it kind of wasn't. It wasn't, you know, by the time my dad started getting more involved in that, he needed a full chromoly chassis, so the car ended up getting sold, and Bucky Austin ended up getting it from him earlier this year, and you know, brought it home, kind of doing a quick restoration with it. Went to Nitro Revival at Irwindale, and now it's back home though, in the family.
PaintedAutoParts.com Motorhead of the Week, Larry Dixon. He is a student of the game. Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonfireTools.com, returns from the PRI show in just a few moments. Sure, we miss the cozy confines of the Campbell's Custom Care Studio, but we love it here in Indianapolis as well. Welcome back to Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonfireTools.com at the annual PRI show. If you want to get that jump at the tree, Nitrous is the way to do it. And for 24 years, Nitrous Outlet has been the place to go for all things nitro. Well, Dave, now some new lines have spun off of Nitrous Outlet, including Nitro Dave. So what does Nitro Dave's do that's different from Nitrous Outlet?
We've broadened our product line to go after different areas of the market. Anything from hoses and fittings to specialty trailer components, methanol injection for boosted applications.
How do you ensure quality? Because there's all kinds of stresses when it comes to putting nitrous through a system.
Quality is very important. We have several steps within our system to make sure that the end product that's going out the door is exactly what it needs to be, so that we have the same results over and over again.
Who's the target market?
Man, it's pretty broad. We do anything from the guy that's just got a little weekend hot rod, drag boats, bikes, snowmobiles. The street car market is really the larger part of the businesses. And then the hardcore race area, well, that's just my love.
Looking at the folks that are streeting nitrous cars, what do you have for them in the way of meth heads?
In 2024, we'll be releasing our methanol injection systems. As of right now, all of our meth injection systems are on cars that are class cars like Ultra, H275, and LDR. We've been getting data from those guys over the last 3 years to help us build our street car product line.
If you're running nitrous on the street or on any track, Nitrous Outlet's the place to go. NitrousOutlet.com has everything you need. And if they don't, head on over to Nitro Dave's. If you love high-performance vehicles, Italy is the place to go to get one. If you want parts for high-performance vehicles, Italy is the place to get those. Italian Rods and Pistons has been making rods and pistons in Italy for over a decade. Now, Francesco, your process and your materials is what sets you apart. Why are Italian rods and pistons better?
For example, the piston, normal competitor forge the piston, heat treatment, machine it, and finish. We do forging, machine it, heat treatment, machine it another time. So we want to remove all stress of the piston, and because we want piston to wall cylinder tolerance very tightening to remove the blue bye. So for remove the blue bye, to make more power, we need to have very tightening piston.
Now that's the pistons. What about the materials you use in the rods?
We have material in silver about 1,200 megapascal, in gold 1,500 megapascal. In platinum we have maybe right now the best material in the market. So we have 2,100 megapascal, about 300 kSi, and we have 12% elongation of material.
You're always innovating, and you brought something new to PRI. What'd you bring?
We bring here the first stroker kit of the world for S58, M2, M3, M4, X3M, X4M. So we increase displacement from 3 liter to 3.2 liter.
What are some of the famous makes where we can find your products?
We are very specialist in Aventador, Huracan, Porsche 991, 992, 997, with also ES Motor is one of the best our customer.
Some pretty amazing machinery out there. Manufactured in Italy with Italian quality, warehouse in Phoenix, Arizona, USA, famous worldwide. You can find them at ItalianRPUSA.com. You can get the durability and the performance you need. More race cars and go fast gear when Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonfireTools.com, returns from the PRI show in Indianapolis.
Motorhead Garage's coverage of the 2023 PRI show is presented by DragonfireTools.com, industrial workbenches with integrated tool storage, and brought to you by PaintedAutoBodyParts.com, the leading U.S. auto body parts online store. Amsoil, the first in synthetics. And by Rodin Supply. We don't just sell them, we race them.
Let's play in the mud. Mud is in my blood. Sunny with a chance of mud. Welcome to this Amsoil Tech Tip. If you haven't figured it out now, it's all about the mud. And when it comes to ATVs, well, ATV and mud goes together just like ATVs and service goes together. So let's take a look at what you need to do to some of these ATVs. Well, obviously the safety checklist there. Check all your fluids, your nuts and bolts, your air pressure, everything. But then there's the actual maintenance lubrication chart here. You can see it starts at the top with the valves and works all the way down to the front brakes. There's a lot you have to do, but what people don't think about, Len, is mud and ATVs, man. You're living proof that we got a product that works, man. Explain this to me, buddy.
Well, we had a product called Mudslinger, and this was a test of that product. Unfortunately, they got me to stand there and get hosed down. Now, the way the product works is you can apply it to the dirt bike or the ATV before you ride, and what it's supposed to do is it helps you get the mud off.
Now, I don't think it's supposed to do. It works. I mean, you were covered. You were doing some off-roading there, and it worked well. You know what? Why don't you demonstrate how good it really works for us?
Sure. And what we can do here is talk about the fact that this also makes a very good cleaner and polish, and it'll bring the plastics back to life, as well as apply a nice layer of UV coating to it. So all you need to do, even if the surface has got a little spotting on it, it's not a problem. Go ahead and spray it down. Don't be shy with this one. You really cannot use too much. You can go ahead and spray it real nicely. Then what you want to do, just give it a wipe. And you'll see that plastic start to come back to life, because these things are known to get scratched and get dirty and get faded because, you know, they're in the mud.
Now, it looks really good, but an important part you told me about earlier is I could do some prevention, pre-prevention, before I go in the mud.
That's true, you can. Once the machine is clean, before you get it all dirty, you would apply this under the fenders, to the tops of the fenders, let it dry for about 15 minutes, and it'll provide a layer that when you come back, when it's all dirty, it'll allow you, as you saw in my video, to just get rinsed clean.
Well, I'm all about that, less working. Go to the website at amsoil.com, get you some Mudslinger, check out all the science behind all their products.
SNS Diesel has a prominent spot here at the PRI show because they are the first name in diesel performance. Just check out this 3,000 horsepower diesel-powered dragster. That's something you don't see very often. This thing is the world's quickest dragster. It is fast because of parts from SNS Diesel. It's also reliable. And now, the neat thing about this, Luke, it's being towed by a Ford with a 6.7 liter diesel engine. Fantastic truck, also very reliable, except for one Achilles heel. What is the problem on a truck like that? There's millions of them all over the place.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them. And what we see is the main Achilles heel in those is the high pressure fuel pump, unfortunately, which is a critical component. It's kind of the lifeblood of the engine. But the CP4 pump that's used in that engine is just prone to failure, and when it does fail, it sends a lot of metal shrapnel through the rest of the system and contaminates the rest of everything. So you're replacing injectors and you're up in the tank and trying to clean it all out. But here recently now we've developed a pump conversion to get rid of the problem child altogether. So that's the ultimate solution. And then we've developed this DCR high pressure pump conversion, which is a co-developed project with us and Stanadyne to put a much more robust, reliable solution into place. Just superior materials, and the base bottom end design just is hardly any metal to metal contact, and it's proven to be very, very stout.
They say time is money, and you can save both when you get this part from SNS Diesel. You can find this and all kinds of diesel performance products at ssdiesel.com. If you've seen Motorhead Garage before, you've probably seen the Clamptite tool, and it's got a million different applications. Kevin, you're here at PRI for a reason, though, because there are tons of different racing applications. What can racers and folks in the performance industry do with the Clamptite tool?
So one of the things we're running into a lot is the silicone. A lot of things are moving to silicone hoses. They haven't quite figured out those clamps yet, so Clamptite will actually seal that, a true 360 seal all the way around with no flat spots, so that's important. Air hoses in your shop or on your trailers. true 360 seal again. Running your hand over top of that, no bleeding, so that's important. The key of it is you get a true 360 seal all the way around, whereas you're always getting the oval spots with this. You can see that that's a true 360 seal.
We know it can do a lot of things. How does the Clamptite tool work?
So when you make your clamp, you know what, Dave? We've been doing this for 10 years, okay? I know you sitting at home right now, you've seen this demo. You've seen us talk to you. You're like, I should buy the tool, but I haven't yet. I talked to you at the shows. You've seen it. You know how it works. Put the tool down. Put your tools that you're working with down. Pick up your phone, go to ClamptiteTools.com. You need this tool. If you're a racer and you don't have this tool, you need it. You're Frankensteining things up. You can plan for everything you want to in the racetrack. That thing you didn't think was going to happen, we know it's going to happen. This is your tool to fix it, to keep you on the track. ClamptiteTools.com.
You heard what the guy said. Wow, what a week, what a show. PRI never fails to impress. We've had a great time here, and we hope you loved it too. Join us next week. We'll be back home again at Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonfireTools.com, with an all-new show you're going to love. We'll see you then.